When you put a group of enthusiasts in a room and leave them to talk, you get a party. But with us climate activists, we're having a big party right now where everyone talks about the same things and thinks about the same things. And it's very boring. Don't get me wrong though, when it comes to issues like climate change, it's very important to have a supportive group of people to really feel motivated and inspired about your cause and your great mission for the world. But when it comes to recruiting new members, it's not really helpful at all. You know, whether you're a climate activist, a vegan, a human rights activist, no pineapples on pizza, not everyone cares about what you care about. So in this tutorial, I will be teaching you how to communicate about climate change to your friends and family without losing all of them. But before I get into any of that, I'd like to share with you my experience with climate activism. I accidentally became a climate activist last year. Basically, I organized a climate strike on Facebook and people showed up.
We're here at Climate Strike Thailand right now.
I've gained many disciples since. You know, I've got these tree huggers, real biologists, scientists, tree planting volunteers, beach cleanup volunteers, all sorts of volunteers. And so every climate strike, we go out to march on the streets. We have all these signs and we say all these things, the same things. What do we want?
Right, that's what we want.
We've said it so many times, and I've seen it so many times on my Instagram feed and my Facebook posts and the UN, and it makes me want to throw up. Climate scientists have been warning us for decades about climate change, and despite all the evidence and the facts and the statistics, we're still actively trying every day to wipe out our own civilization. I guess either that means 1, we can't make everyone agree on the same thing. 2, we're communicating in a very wrong way. So here are my tips to effectively talking someone out of contributing to humanity's self-destruction. Climate change is already happening all around the world, and although it affects the poorest and most vulnerable communities first, scientific evidence and a little bit of common sense suggests that it will affect all of us. Unfortunately, our brains are way too underevolved to come to terms with this hard and distant fact. And to most people, if it hasn't already happened to them, it's almost as if it's not happening at all. Like my good friend Matt used to say about homework, do tomorrow, do tomorrow. To overcome such inadequate brain processes, we need to show people why they need to care. Then use that information to find out your common ground. Find out what you can offer your friend and maybe somehow link it to climate change without overdoing your agenda. Rather than emphasizing on the importance of the environment, offer benefits and rewards to the areas which impact them directly. I'd like to introduce to you my dog Coco, who will demonstrate to you real-life examples of people you might come across in daily life and have to talk to about climate change. Come back. In this scene, your friend is a waitress who struggles to pay her rent while pursuing her dreams of becoming a house DJ. She has little time to care about how much plastic waste she creates from the street food she eats. How can we help make sustainable living more economical and accessible for people like her, who's already got hundreds of problems to worry about every day? Here, your friend is a single mom who works a 9-to-5 office job and also needs to pick up her kids from school and help them with maths homework. Telling her to stop driving to reduce carbon emissions might cause her to bark at you. Instead, enlighten her about the low-cost, traffic-free, time-saving qualities of public transportation. Show her that being environmentally conscious can also be cheap, easy, quick, and convenient. In this scenario, your friend is a young hipster who takes candid photos of herself with a self-timer on her iPhone. She's only got a few hundred followers on Instagram, but she wants more. Can you help your friend gain more followers by introducing thrift shopping and minimalism to her? Not only might her new secondhand outfits impress the online community of strangers, but her knowledge on the harmful effects of fast fashion and consumerism is sure to add an extra wow factor. Here, your friend is a backpacker who has come to Thailand to figure out what to do with his life, but is yet to find enlightenment in his 6th year of gap year. He cares very little about the carbon emissions of a flight and about the cruelty behind wildlife tourism, but he does care very much about yoga and letting the universe take over. Perhaps volunteering at a certified elephant sanctuary and veganism might actually help him become one with the earth. In this scene, your friend is a confident businesswoman and a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She not only has the reputation of a strong female leader to maintain, but also a score as a money-making machine. How can we show her that renewable energy is the new green investment with high growth potential and returns? Great! Now your friend is listening. Now, while speaking to them, remember to use human language. Like most people, Coco is not a climate scientist and might not understand terms like carbon offset, transboundary air pollution, and ocean acidification. Keep it simple. Point out direct day-to-day climate impacts that are tangible to the person you're talking to. Avoid jargon and complicated vocabulary. When faced with a difficult concept that needs explanation, go back to step 1. Understand where in the climate dictionary your friend is at and explain from there. Coco might not understand meat production accounts for 14.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions, much of its methane attributable to cow flatulence. But she would probably understand eating lots of beef is probably bad for the environment because it takes a lot of water and energy to grow food for cows, and their farts also make our planet hotter. Many advocates and activists say things like, we need climate justice now. But to Coco, she might think, what does climate justice even mean? Is there like a climate court? How exactly can we act now? Just give simple instructions. People want to help, but they can't help you if they don't understand you. What sparked the climate strikes wasn't one climate scientist who came out with this new chart outlining the spikes in carbon emissions and global temperatures in the past century. It was one young girl who was depressed and frustrated and decided to speak up about our global state and climate change. In all the historic movements we've come across, whether it's social or environmental, it was the emotions and the stories that inspired and motivated us and challenged us to do better. Not numbers and fact sheets. We are social animals that have evolved by telling stories. If you can make Coco get the feels, you guys begin to vibe and get on the same wavelength. When your brainwaves connect, your logic then transfers over easier. When you become homies with her, she's more likely to listen to you than someone else who keeps calling her stupid. You've successfully explained to Coco about climate change and biodiversity loss, and she feels horrible about it. But what next? Offer solutions. Help her help you by telling her what she can do. Also make it easier for her to do good. Give them something that's so much cheaper, easier, quicker, cooler, and more convenient, more fun, that they don't even have to try to change, so they just want to change. No one, not me, definitely not Coco, likes being scolded for anything. When you believe in something, it sucks when someone tells you your reasoning is invalid because that causes internal conflict and dissonance. Instead of changing her mind, you might actually make Coco stand stronger on her points because of a psychological effect called the backfiring effect. Similarly, because of this other effect called the confirmation bias, she'll believe whatever she wants to be true. So don't force anything on Coco. She plays her own game and makes her own rules. Greta said she doesn't want your hope.
I want you to panic.
But that's only good if you choose to do something with it. According to neuroscientists, panic actually makes us less willing to act. Hope is what really inspires action. Just like President Snow from the Hunger Games once said, hope is the only thing stronger than fear. Now with doom and gloom all over the news, it can be very hard to remain positive some days and keep fighting for our planet and our future. Warning Coco about climate impacts can really suppress her, but telling her about the progress we've made in our wonderful conservation efforts can really enable her and positively reinforce her to take action. And when Coco sees that she actually has the power to change the world, whether it's in her own crib or her own community or country, it will give her that motivation to really take action in the best ways she knows how to. As the movement grows, people then begin to see more of these possibilities of a socially equitable and sustainable world that they've always wanted. And this time also knowing that they too can be part of creating that world. Congratulations! You've passed the training on how to talk about climate change without losing all your friends and family. I wish you the best of luck on this journey, and goodbye.